I'm Robert.shea with Grant Thornton, and I'm here to talk to you about COVID-19, Congress, and what comes next. Congress has acted quickly to pass legislation and appropriate money to help the country respond to and recover from the crisis. Days ago, Congress and the President enacted a $2.3 trillion stimulus bill, but that's just the third phase in ongoing efforts to provide the relief and stimulus needed to address the impact of the coronavirus pandemic on the United States. Phase 1 was a stopgap measure to provide badly needed funding, a little over $8 billion, to those on the front lines of the crisis. Money for public health agencies, money for emergency preparedness and response, money for small business loans for those immediately impacted by the crisis, and money for vaccines and other treatments. Phase 2, signed on March 18th, offered direct support to individuals and families impacted by the crisis. Emergency paid leave, nutrition assistance, including $500 million for the Women, Infants, and Children's Program, and $400 million for the Emergency Food Assistance Program. It ensured children's access to school lunches and suspended work requirements associated with the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. But it also required employers in the healthcare sector to develop comprehensive exposure control plans to protect their workers, and it offered states $1 billion in emergency grants and interest-free loans to support processing and paying unemployment insurance. Then came Phase 3, the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Stimulus Act, the CARES Act, the largest stimulus in American history. It's intended to stem the economic downturn caused by the crisis. It includes direct payments to individuals, $1,200 per adult with an additional $500 per child, $500 billion in lending for industries, states, and localities, $350 billion in forgivable loans for small businesses, and $150 billion for hospitals and supplies. Now, the ink's not even dry on the CARES Act, and talks about Stimulus 4 have already begun. Some of what we can expect from this next phase of response and recovery legislation: elimination of out-of-pocket costs for all medical care related to COVID-19, increased healthcare tax credits to lower health insurance premiums, and financial assistance to help workers who are laid off, furloughed, or who experience reduced income. There's also growing concern about the cost of waste, fraud, and abuse that could come from spending so much money so quickly. So Congress is considering stronger reporting and auditing requirements for current and planned stimulus spending along the lines of what was put in place during the last recession. But the main reason we can expect another phase, perhaps more than one, is that experts agree what was passed wasn't enough to recover from the damage that's been done by the crisis so far. Though the most recent legislation includes unprecedented direct payments to individuals, many think it ought to have provided more. State and local government revenue is shrinking by the day, and more will be needed to fill the gap. And though the CARES Act included an innovative, flexible program, the Paycheck Protection Program, to offer $350 billion in forgivable loans to small business, here's the thing. There are about 30 million small firms in the United States, 6 million of them with paid employees. The CARES Act provides $350 billion in lending authority for this program, with a maximum loan that's 2.5 times monthly payroll, or $10 million, whichever is less. If the average loan is, say, $1 million, the program can support about 350,000 firms. With an average loan size of $5 million, the program can support about 70,000 firms. But at the maximum loan level of $10 million, the program can provide loans to about 35,000 small businesses. No matter how you slice it, there's not enough money in the program to support the number of firms likely to be impacted. As Chief Brody said when he first saw Jaws, we're going to need a bigger boat. The impact of this crisis is staggering, and it remains to be seen just what it'll take to recover. That's why you can expect a lot more action from Congress before the crisis is over. Stay tuned and stay safe.